always I say, if you're not corrupted, if you're not a bad person, if you're not doing anything wrong, you can face the Tribune. Otherwise, the Tribune is going to face you, my friend. And we're going to take you all the way to where you belong, the trash can. So, with me today is my co host, Clark Phillip, Mr. Producer. And we are completely we got 6 weeks left to election day, and we need to start working on the people that we need to elect to make this country great again. So I will suggest that you start studying, reading, educating yourself to what you need to do to be able to vote for the right people. Okay? And unfortunately, we cannot say ignore the letter at the end of the name. Like Clark said, we need to vote Republican this time because otherwise we are going to give the country to the enemy. We have to start. Me personally, I don't know who we need to vote not to give the country to the enemy because we got a bunch of people in the Republican Party then, but this is not the time, this is not the moment, this is not the year to be argumentative with the behavior of the Republican Party. I'm going to listen to Clark. I'm going to be narrow mind, blindfolded, and just pick all the R's. And the R's doesn't mean Rolando. Uh, we're going to need to pick all the R's this time in the ballot and do what we need to do because otherwise the enemy will take, the country. Instead of that made the country great again, we're gonna give the country back to the enemy. And that is a not good thing. Uh, I believe. Let's talk a little bit about this. Let's talk a little bit about the Hillary Clinton illness. I went to my doctor today, one of my doctors. I forgot his name because, nowadays doctors doesn't mean anything. You belong to, uh, you belong to something, it's almost like a club. You don't know all the members of the club. So I was talking to the doctor today and I was telling this doctor, she seems to be very smart, very intelligent. And we start talking about politics, and I told her that I believe then Hillary Clinton is not sick. I think she's pretending to be. She's faking it. I don't know if that will make any sense to anybody, but I'm crazy. I don't do things normally like every normal people do, and I believe that she just wants people to feel sorry for her and elected her. I don't know if it make any sense to you, but
Well, the problem is nothing makes sense with the Clintons. Like the story they were putting out the other day when she went to Chelsea's whatever apartment, whatever there in New York, that she was running around playing with the grandkids. I don't believe anything people say.
they have
After they had to put her in the car,
they got
they had to carry her into the car.
Too many
She's running around chasing the grandkids.
And then an hour and a half later, 90 minutes later, she walk out on the sidewalk and start waving at people.
Well, I can see her getting some sort of a shot or whatever when she went to the penthouse. Who knows?
So what? She lived there. She lived there with the doctor, or
No, maybe they have a doctor there, or maybe whatever. Maybe there's somebody that, there's a, who knows what Chelsea lives. It could be a whole friggin' wing of the building that has a hospital facilities. I don't know. I'm just saying they could have done anything. But one thing that didn't happen, Hillary Clinton was not running around the apartment playing with her grandkids. I guarantee you that. And if your theory's right that she's faking it, why would they report that story? That's kind of like an opposite if she's so
I don't
sick.
know. But all I know is, first of all, unfortunately, and I apologize for that. I don't believe anything the Clintons say.
Nothing.
I don't trust the Clintons. If they tell me it's that it is 12:05 in the afternoon, I think
Check.
it's 4 o'clock in the evening. They don't do anything the right way like a normal person. But
That's for sure.
what bothers me is assuming that she was really sick. I believe it's very irresponsible of her with pneumonia. That's what you call, right?
Yeah.
Pneumonia is very contagious.
I don't know if it's viral or bacterial. There seems to be a difference there of how contagious it is.
Oh, really?
Which one it is.
But either way, it's contagious.
Well, it's not the appearance.
Okay?
The little kid
And
running up to her and she's hugging the little kid. And I mean, come on.
It's irresponsible. It's criminal what she's doing.
Yeah, they don't
Giving everybody the same germ, the same virus that she had. I don't think it should be that way.
They played that little scene with her getting into that that Suburban the other day. They played it over and over and over and over again on whatever show I was watching. And you watch her, and I'll tell you what, she went down. This was a wobbly. Did you see her? She was just losing it, man. And that's a hard thing to fake like that. She's a great actress if she pulled that one off. She went down. She was out of it. She was out and out of it.
I don't know.
And if there wasn't those people around holding her up, she would have been on the ground, flat on her ass. And there's a presidential candidate, and she hasn't taken over the job yet. Okay, she's taking 2, 3, 4 days off every single week. She has no grueling schedule. Look at Donald Trump. He's all over the friggin' country like every day. He can be from one end to the other 5 times. It's amazing. And here's Hillary. She does a speech and she takes 3 days off. Like Trump says, where is she? She's sleeping. I mean, I don't know.
And she's not doing press conference either.
She can't do that. That little town hall, they're calling it, where Matt Lauer was asking her all these softball questions, except for one. And then what does the press do? Everybody gets on Matt Lauer like he did something wrong because he asked the presidential candidate a question. How can you ask it was a tough question, kind of. Not really, but kind of. And they get on his case.
What question? You remember?
Oh, I don't know. Something about what? I don't know. But it wasn't tough, I'll tell you that. But how can you get on a guy asking a question when a person's running for president? Every single question should be on the table. Every single one.
And every single question should be allowed, and every single question should be answered.
But she is a protected candidate. The media will not say a damn thing about her. They won't tell you the truth. It's destructive to the country. If this lady should ever get in the White House, it's destructive.
That's exactly what I said. I was saying yesterday, this guy Javier Becerra was in Chris Wallace, I believe, show, and he was criticizing Donald Trump because he was trying, which is not even the word trying, because he was trying to be accepting the fact, like you said, that Vladimir Putin is respected by his people in his own country.
That's
You
all
know,
Donald Trump was saying.
Nobody despise communists more than I do. Okay? I come from a communist country. I lost my country because the communist regime. But Donald Trump was not defending Vladimir Putin.
Not
At least
all.
Russia has the people can come out in and out of the country anytime they want to, right? Do they have
I'm
no?
not too sure about that, but
No, I don't know too much. All I know is that Mr. Obama, the American president, went to Cuba, kissed Fidel and Raul Castro's butt, put
doing
himself
the wave at the baseball game.
put himself in a position to be, I don't know,
I would call it Obama's trip down there.
what is
Could be referred to as praising the
what
Castros.
what is the female of the dog?
The female of the what?
Dog.
Dog? The
What do you
female dog.
What do you call it? That was a bee, no?
Oh,
Huh?
you mean what Hillary is?
No,
Oh.
what Obama was trying to be with Raul Castro.
Oh, he was trying to be
Yeah,
his female dog.
yeah.
Oh, I got you. Okay.
You know, he ignoring all the people that the Castro brothers have killed. He ignored the fact that people in Cuba have not freedom. He ignoring the fact that Cuba have no liberty, have no freedom of expression, freedom of a press. How many newspapers are in Cuba? One newspaper owned by the country, by the government.
Oh, that's most dictators.
You know,
and most
that's a communist country.
Yeah.
Oh, but Mr. Becerra, you know, the son of an immigrant, don't consider that to be wrong. You know, and that is what bothers me about these Democrats. Everything they do is right. Everybody else is wrong, they are right. And I don't think it is the honest to God's truth. Okay, Mr. Becerra is wrong. Mr. Becerra don't look at Cuba like an enemy, and he should be looking at Cuba as an enemy because
he
Cuba
looks
is
at
an
Trump
enemy.
as more of an enemy
Eh?
than Castro. He looks at Trump as more of an enemy than Castro. And that's ridiculous. And then they misconstrue exactly what Trump said was Trump has observed the people of Russia consider the people of Russia, not Trump, the people of Russia consider Putin to be a strong leader. And for the most part, I think if they have a thing like the ratings in Russia, approval ratings, I think Putin's rating, I've heard, is 60 or 70%. So the people of Russia do approve of Putin. That's all Trump was saying.
But let me ask
That's
you,
it.
do they have a pulse over there in Russia?
Well, I think they have something. I don't know what it is. It's not like over here, and whether you believe it or not, who knows? But like Putin can run and he can win by 110% at the polls. So what do the polls mean?
I don't know.
You know. But anyways, it's not a free country.
But also we have to take in consideration, we don't know who take the polls. It's like every Democrat polling, Democrat polling here, Hillary Clinton is winning, and Donald Trump is, well.
When Khrushchev was pounding his shoe on the table there in the Kennedy days, and then Kennedy kind of, I don't know who the hell won, but Khrushchev, I think, backed down at some point. Okay, so he lost face in the Russian community, in the Russian leadership, and he was removed from office because he was not a strong leader. Because I think Kennedy kind of got the upper hand on something. Well, anyways, Gorbachev did the same thing with the wall.
It probably was about the Cuban Missile.
It was something, okay? Gorbachev backed down. Anyway, I mean, Khrushchev, Gorbachev backed down on that wall, and Reagan won on that. And where did Gorbachev go after that? To the retirement home, right? No longer in power. Because the Russians are very, very finicky. They're like the Democrats. They don't want any defectors. They don't want any Joe Liebermans in their party.
They make them look ridiculous.
Yep. And all Trump was doing was observing the fact that in Russia, Putin is considered a strong leader. That's all he said. And you have Chris Wallace, you have every single Democrat, you have the talking point now is that Trump was praising Putin. When the hell did he praise him? And when did Trump ever back David Duke? He never did. David Duke may be backing Trump. How can someone say, don't back me? How do you stop that? But they're saying Trump is a supporter of David Duke. Nothing could be further from the truth.
What is David Duke running for?
Nothing that I know of. But that's the spin machine of the despicable Democrats and the despicable mainstream media.
So it's
They
nothing
say
wrong.
anything.
It's nothing wrong with protecting and watching out for ISIS, right, or ISIL, or whatever you call that.
I don't understand this. I know that ISIL is what Obama will project every single time out of his mouth, and everybody working under the Obama administration is demanded to say ISIL and use that word. Hillary Clinton used to say that word. She doesn't say it anymore. Why? Because she's not getting her paycheck directly from Obama anymore. That's why. But why is this word ISIL so different from ISIS? Has something, I think, to do with Israel, but I don't get the connection. I don't see it. There's something else there. Obama uses that for something else that only he knows, but he demands that everybody underneath him use it. And I don't get what it is. He must back ISIS somehow. And he's trying to soften whoever these people are or change the word.
Maybe Donald Trump was right when he said that Obama founded or owned ISIS.
Well, it sprung up on the weakness of Obama, is the reason that ISIS is there. If it wasn't for him withdrawing completely from Iraq like he did in Syria, none of this would be happening. And all the generals and everybody else, even Bush, advised Obama not to withdraw, leave 30,000, I think the number was. Nope, Obama just had to get every single body out of there because that's the platform that he ran on. Like closing Cuba. What is it over there, the base? Guantanamo. How's that worked out for him? It's been 8 years, it's not closed yet. The guy's a liar.
Because I don't think he can. I think it's a little more deeper deal going on with that. Cuba, United States owned Guantanamo Bay for more than 99 years. You know, 19 of, I don't remember. I cannot start guessing over here on the air now. But I'm going to look at the story of the history of Guantanamo, and I think, but of course, this, what do you call liberals? Remember Jimmy Carter gave away the canal?
Panama, yep.
The
thing that we built.
And Panama completely changed after that. After the Panama took over the canal, because it's like Puerto Ricans wanted to get the island. They want to. I think they should be elected. They should be allowed to elect a president too, because if they can go into the service and serve this country, and they don't need a passport to come over here, and they consider American citizens. I don't understand why they cannot elect a presidential candidate.
You're saying they can't vote.
They can vote for everything else but president.
So they got to be U.S. citizens.
They vote for everything else but the presidential candidate.
People that have been in the military But they're not from here, they weren't born here, but they're US citizens.
Puerto Rico, I'm talking about the island of Puerto Rico.
Oh, that's different, that's a territory.
Yeah,
So you're saying Puerto Rican people cannot vote for president?
no. But that was not my point there. My point is that they wanted
But
to.
they can serve in the military.
They wanted to. They want to free themselves from the United States. They would never succeed by themselves. They have to. It is, in my opinion, I don't know. I haven't been in Puerto Rico in 42 years, but I believe that they they have a situation. Then I don't know if they can succeed without the American citizens, the American
Puerto
control.
Rico, you saying again?
Yeah,
Puerto Rico's broke. Didn't we just
that's
give them
what I'm
several billion
saying.
dollars? Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
So they can't succeed without American money.
No, without the American help. And you know, when the American government, not the American people, the American government help you, there's always some string attached. There's nothing that the American government do in any level, local, county, state, federal, nothing they do that they don't want to have some kind of leverage to control whatever it is, you know. But that is part of being an American. You know, I'm not going to question that. I know sometimes it's aggravated, sometimes it is hurt to see how the government abuse, but every government and every country abuse the citizens. You know, it's something that it make like a routine thing.
I don't know, 1898, Cuba was owned by Spain.
Yeah,
And then there was a Spanish-American War, I guess it was, or whatever.
yeah,
And at the same time that America, I guess, kind of won that war, Cuba belonged to them, as did Puerto Rico.
for a very short time.
For a short time, and then I think it was like 3 years later, Cuba became its own country because it became an independent nation.
Right.
But there was a treaty that was signed in 1903, I think it was, where
That's what I think, 1902, 1903.
right, where the Guantanamo Bay and so forth was technically, I guess, leased in a way to
It was
the
leased at that time was leased for 99 years, and then it's been a renewal.
I think it was something renewed in 1934 even. So maybe it was a 99-year lease in 1934 too, because maybe something happened there where it got extended.
Or maybe that is when the 99-year lease was
It could be.
signed.
It could be.
From 1902 to 1934, they was just running the Guantanamo Bay in 1934. I don't remember who was the government in Cuba. Maybe they say, hey, Americans, let's do something with this.
Oh, now it's a perpetual lease.
It is?
And since 1934, it was reaffirmed in 1934, the 45 square mile territory became a complete jurisdiction of the United States control through a perpetual lease that can only be voided only by mutual agreement.
Yeah.
So,
and now is the
for the low rent, I don't know if this is accurate today, $3,386 a year annually.
$3,300?
$3,386.25. Only in Washington can you get these.
It could be. It could be. It's the same way that the American government bought this land here from Mexico. They make a deal, and you know, it's like you do. Hey, I offer you this. Take it or leave it. If you take it, you have to live with.
Apparently, we generate about $7 million for the Cuban government to Cuban workers. 3,700 jobs are associated with Guantanamo Bay, apparently held by Cubans. So we pay $7 million a year in annual pay for that. So.
Well, they don't pay to Cuba, right? They pay to the people that work there.
That could,
You know,
what do you mean? They pay Castro, or they pay the people directly?
I assume they have to pay the people direct. Or you mean now or before Castro?
Well, now.
Oh, I don't know now. Everything is wrong with Castro, so I don't know. But I assume
that would be the best job in Cuba then, if you could get paid directly from the Americans for working at Guantanamo Bay.
Right.
That's a job to have instead of $20 a month.
Right. And then you can be protected if you do something that the government don't like, and you can hide in the American territory, the Guantanamo base. You know, it's not. I don't remember exactly what was it, but that's the way. I was kind of close. I knew it was in 1902, 1903. I think it was 1902 when Cuba became an independent country.
Wow, there's about 20,000 Haitians that in 1991 there was some kind of a coup d'etat in Haiti, and they fled to the United States, but the United States didn't really take them in. They shipped them to Guantanamo Bay to protect them for their safety, I guess. So they kind of like gave them asylum. At the same time, there was like 30,000 Cubans that were seeking asylum by fleeing Cuba, and they were housed there at Guantanamo Bay too. These 30,000 people that wanted to get the hell out of Cuba.
But
so to this day, some of those people are still residents of Guantanamo Bay.
So they're still Cuban territory, but American territory.
Kind of.
Wow, it's confusing.
Boy, I tell you, this is a long story. I didn't know all that. And they're kind of like lacking status in a way. Like, who are these people? You know, what are they?
And you
Nobody knows.
and I'm sure that some of those people in there, they got married, they got kids.
Oh, I'm sure. Now, what are those kids? Are they born in quite? It's a U.S. base, right? Or is
I
it?
know, but it has to be the same way than is the Mexican people. You know, they become anchor babies. You know, they not.
Well, that's a good question because they're not here.
Right.
So if you're born at a military base, technically, like I think John McCain was born, I think in Panama. At the military base hospital in Panama.
Yeah, from American parents.
Yes, American stationed. So he's an American citizen. I go, no problem with that. How about these people in Guantanamo? Is that an American base? I would say it is, and I would say because of this refugee thing, that they took these people in, gave them asylum in that base. Yeah. So what are those kids? Are those American citizens?
No, they cannot be. They become ankle baby.
Anchor to what?
Ankle.
Anchor to Guantanamo Bay?
Well,
they're people without a country.
What about the people that are born in Las Vegas? And you know, a lot of South American and Central American and Mexican, they come here almost popping the kids out of the belly. And
they do come here to pop the kid out of the belly.
Okay, so
they come like a day ahead of time.
Are they American kids? No, they're not.
According to some Democrats, they are because they might grow up in.
Well, Democrats, they always they pretend.
According to Trump and according to the law and according to what I read about the law, an anchor baby is not a U.S. citizen.
It is not.
Because the parents have not sworn an allegiance to the United States.
That's right.
They haven't sworn to an oath, and therefore they're not citizens. Yeah. Sorry to say.
That's the way it is, and that's the way it should be over there in Guantanamo Bay with the Cubans, you know, or the Haitians, because those Haiti people are Haitians, right? How do you pronounce that?
Okay, the parents are in Guantanamo Bay because they were just kind of put there. Then they have a kid, and it's a U.S. base, just like America. That kid would not be an anchor baby. It would not be a citizen.
It would not
Because
be.
the parents-
Of course
Yeah,
not.
because the parents aren't. So,
Of
yeah,
course
you're right.
not.
You're right.
You
Yeah.
know.
But they would be to the Hillary Clinton
Of course.
and the
Of
Barack
course,
Obama.
because they can vote.
Right, exactly.
You know, and
Yeah.
they would be okay because the culinary union would bless them
Yeah,
and make them American citizens.
yeah.
You know, and that's
And then
why.
they'll bus them on election day to the polls to make sure they vote.
Right. Right.
And then bus them back to vote again under their other IDs.
Right.
They're
They
multiple.
had to vote 3 times
Is that what it is?
in
Is
the
that
same
the
election.
ratio?
Yes.
I knew there was some relationship there, some
3
formula.
times because
Okay,
they
now
want
we
to
know
make
what that
sure that
is.
the count it is
So
correct.
how are the Republicans ever gonna win when you already got 3-1 against you?
Yeah.
I mean, it's a tough road to hoe. That's
The
why
Republicans are not supposed to win.
of course not.
Republicans are Republicans.
So those racist,
They have no.
those phobias,
They have no right.
those
They have no
phobias,
right.
those deplorable people, the
I-
basket of deplorables.
I don't know. I'm very proud to be deplorable. I'm very proud to be deplorable.
She's getting a lot of flack over that, as she should. I mean, that's a terrible thing to say. If a Republican ever said anything about that, oh my God, you'd be drummed out of the race
Yeah, but
instantaneously.
I don't pay attention to it. I don't believe that should be an issue for anything, because if I'm not among those people that she mentioned, uh, what did she said? Homophobia,
all the phobias.
Islamophobia,
She
all
had a
that.
whole
If I'm
laundry
not
list.
that, I don't care. I don't give a damn what she said, you know, or what anybody else said. I'm not that. I don't need to be, you know, it's like the Mexicans get upset because they claim that Trump called them rapists and drug runners or whatever. They don't. He don't mention all the people. I didn't get upset in the '60s and the '70s when they accused the Cuban people for being in the drug business. I never got upset because I was not in the drug business. I don't care. You know, if they start criticizing gay people, I don't care. I'm not gay, and if I was gay, I should not be upset. Why would I be upset?
You'd probably have to be gay to know.
You know, and I don't know why people make such a big deal out of every little tiny word.
Well, the Democrats do it to divide us. You
Of
know why
course.
they do it?
Of course.
They're trying to divide us.
But they are doing it because the people allow them to
Falling
do
for
it.
it, exactly.
The people allow them.
All problems come
You know,
to the
you
people.
hear what Miguel said the other day when he was here. You know, and I knew he wasn't going to show up in here today. He was supposed to be here today, Tuesday, but you know, he didn't show up. You hear what he said. He don't care what they said, as long as he's not one of them. He don't need to be concerned with the whatever they call anybody else, you know. And I think it is very important to keep that in mind.
Well, the Democratic base are low information people. They don't have it between the ears. They've been indoctrinated. So when you say words to those people, they're indoctrinated that that's supposed to mean something. Because the Democrats tell them it's supposed to mean something. Those despicable Republicans are against you. They're the problem.
No, whatever the Republicans do is wrong.
Yeah.
If Donald Trump go to Michigan and start preaching, not preaching, but speaking to the black community and visiting the black churches, oh, that's wrong. Pandering. You know, it's okay for Hillary to do it, but not
And
Trump.
have hot sauce in her purse.
Yeah.
Right.
And then she start talking like black. You know, to be one of them.
Every Democrat does that.
Oh, really?
Al Gore did it.
Really?
Obama does it. When they're talking to blacks, they talk like blacks.
I don't know. Maybe I don't pay attention to that. Maybe I don't notice because I have an accent of my own. But I don't see no difference. I talk to a
How
lot of
about Joe Biden? They're going to put you all back in chains. Comment. I mean, how was that accepted by the blacks? I mean, that's racist.
That's racist. That
Yeah,
is racist.
Exactly.
That is racist. And nobody come out with that. Nobody
How about
remind.
you have to have an Indian accent to go to any 7-Eleven in the country? You have to speak Indian, whatever he was trying to, an Indian accent.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he said that too. And it's true because every 7-Eleven is run by Indians, it seems, but or Pakistanis or something. So it's hard to get a soda and order it at the 7-Eleven because you have to speak Pakistani.
I thought you loved to go to this 7-Eleven over
Oh, yeah, my favorite store. Speaking of having to speak some.
here.
The day I had my hot dog stolen, and then the homeless person that stole my hot dog wanted the drink to go with it.
Oh, that was funny. That was funny now. It wasn't funny back then.
I didn't want the hot dog because they didn't have any onions. Usually they have onions, they were out. So I'd already bought the hot dog. I didn't want the hot dog because they didn't have any onions. So I was making a point. And there was a homeless person there that just grabbed my hot dog. I'll take it. Oh, wait a minute. This comes with a drink. So they grabbed my drink. I would have taken my drink. I didn't need onions with my drink. But I lost my drink because the hot dog came with the drink. And you let it happen. You didn't say anything.
Well, I don't speak English. But
That's the point. The guy behind the counter didn't speak English either.
He didn't speak English either. He just collected the money. That's all. So I don't know. It's
a tough place. America's becoming a tough place. I was born here. I used to think that I understood it. I don't know anymore. I'm not too sure I know what's going on. I don't think I do. Everything seems to be opposite of what I think it should be, or what it's always been even. Everything's opposite. You got a lying, cheating criminal running for president. I don't even see how that's possible. I don't see how the name's not stricken from the ballot.
Wait a minute. Slow down. Don't talk like that about Donald Trump and my president. Right. He don't lie to anybody. He tell the truth. That's the problem we have. He speak his mind. Yeah, but it's not reported the way he said it. It's parsed. That's not the media's job to do that. It's not the media job to be fair and balanced and no. It's not. I thought a free press meant it had to be correct. Yeah, you should lose your freedom if it's not correct. Yeah, well. Because then you're not a free press. If you're reporting lies, how is that protected by the Constitution? Does it say as long as you're the press you can lie? Does it say that in the Constitution somewhere? I don't know. I missed that. I guess. I know like the First Amendment and freedom of speech and all that's there, but do you have the freedom to lie? I'm not too sure about that. But now the normal's to lie. No one tells the truth anymore. It's all lies. I don't think Obama's ever told the truth since he's been in the White House. And there are people that doesn't want to have a newspaper that tell the truth. No, you cannot do that. No, you cannot have a paper that's called the truth. No, that's not marketing. That's not whatever. Well, that's what goes to what I just said. Everything is opposite. Yeah. And right now, everything is opposite. Whose fault is it? People like us. People like us. People like they wanted to do things to please the other side. Well, it's the division. I believe that the content of a newspaper is what people like to read. They don't even care about. Look how many people call here because they think we are the daily paper. They don't even know who the daily paper in Las Vegas is. So the name means nothing. People call here and they want to know the name of the daily paper. Because the name doesn't, it's like the same thing with a restaurant. I don't know if you've been here long enough to remember the railroad pass restaurant they used to, they used to be almost in Boulder City, I think.
It's up there on the mountain by Lake Mead.
Right there? Okay, I've been there 3 or 4 times, and I never been in Lake Mead, but I've been in, because they used to have,
Instead of going down the hill at Lake Mead, you go up the hill and it's right
they
there.
used to have a very, very good prime rib and very good steak, and people used to drive from Las Vegas all the way over there to eat the prime rib, and people don't even remember the name of the place. That restaurant over there in the middle of nowhere. Oh, you mean the railroad pass? Oh, the restaurant in Boulder City. Yeah, that's the one. People don't care about the name. Name doesn't mean anything anymore.
Well, but what colored dress Kim Kardashian wears today? See, their brain's full of superfluous data, so their disk is full.
Yeah.
They can't remember names because
Well,
they're
it
too.
depends how tight the dress is. Then you can remember the color. Then you cannot remember the color. You're too busy looking at the rest of the body. And I don't know if they are real or they are fake, but all I know is
Well, if you go by the ass, they're real. Because the ass is huge.
it's real.
Well, I would hope that we haven't gone to such an element that we're putting phony stuff on the ass. Who wants a big ass?
They do.
Wow.
Oh, they do. I have a friend, well, not a friend, but I know this woman there. She got so many plastic surgery and so many stuff put into her body that she don't look real anymore. She go like,
It was a funny, I don't even know if you could do it today, but a Newhart show with George, the handyman, and Bob Newhart. And they had an inn, in Vermont. And George got a date with
George
a girl.
died.
Huh?
George died already.
Yeah, Tom Poston.
Yeah.
And they had a scene there, they had a skit there where George was gonna date this woman. And she had an ass that was unbelievable. I mean, Jesus Christ.
Is that okay to say that word?
It was a funny show because nobody could talk about it. But my God, it was unbelievable. It was the size of a blimp. I mean, completely phony, of course, but oh man, was that a funny show. I don't know if you could do that today. It
I
wouldn't be
don't know.
politically
Can you
correct.
use that word? We need to ask the
We can.
Democrats. We need to ask the Democrats. Because
Derriere, how's that? She had a derriere that was gigantic.
A
Size of
dairy
this
what?
root, derriere. Derriere.
Oh, okay.
Kind of like a combination of the rear, kind of.
Dirty hair.
A nice
Dirty Harry?
sounding, yeah, Dirty Harry. That was a Dirty Harry.
I mean, people depends. It depends how you do that. Even though I said I wasn't going to talk about Donald Trump anymore, but I have to because it come to mind. Then Donald Trump is criticized for being a womanizer. He's not a womanizer. He just happened to be a successful businessman that has a magnet for women because his bank account.
Well, he takes houses away from old women so he can have a parking lot for his limousines. Everything is misrepresented. In Atlantic City, there was a, whatever they
How
call
many
it.
limousines he got?
No, for the hotel.
Oh, for the hotel. Oh, okay.
So that's the way Democrats misconstrue everything that's happened. And the truth is, it's eminent domain, okay? The truth is that this lady's family wanted to get rich off grandma's $20,000 place that she owned when Atlantic City was a friggin' slum and she'd be lucky to get $20,000 for the place. Well, fortunately for them, a hotel pops up that was under construction by Penthouse Magazine, not Donald Trump. They started eminent domain proceedings to get rid of the old lady's house and pay her for it. Pay her hundreds of thousands of dollars. That wasn't good enough for the relatives.
The same thing happened.
So now Donald Trump's throwing old ladies out of their houses.
The same thing happened over here
Christ.
with Mike Flores when Steve Wynn was buying all that area behind
Right. Yeah, that little, whatever it was, 6 acres. or
that
something in the
that
middle.
little apartment complex.
Yep, right in the middle
Villa
of
Flores. Mike Flores
Yep.
wanted to get himself to be a millionaire
Rich.
at the expense of Steve Wynn, and
Yeah.
Steve Wynn just built
Built around him.
him.
That's what they did to this
You know,
lady's house.
you
The
know,
hotel goes right
I
up
tell
and
you,
around it.
I don't know if that go with the money or that go with the principle, but I used to know a guy that he was very, very wealthy, and he lived at the Desert Inn Country Club. When Steve Wynn bought the Desert Inn, he started paying for those houses so he can build whatever he
Right.
did build there. It's
He
not
hasn't built nothing there.
he got trees and plants and no, it is a nice park in there, but I thought he was gonna do a golf course or a shooting
The Desert
range.
Inn.
The Desert Inn.
It's still a golf course, I think.
No.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I think it's still open as a golf course.
I don't think so. But anyway, one way or the other, he was paying, I believe, I can be wrong, $1 million per house.
About. They were golf course homes, so they wouldn't be cheap.
You know, and this guy that I know, he was a millionaire too. He is a millionaire. You know, he took the $1 million and he moved out. And he was telling me one day, I said, you know, people want to be greedy all the time. My house was not worth $1 million. I took the $1 million, but my house was not worth $1 million. These people wanted to get the house is not $1 million. It's not worth $1 million. They offered $1 million and they want $2 million. You know, and that's the problem with some people. They get to be too greedy, too greedy. And I don't think it should be that way. You know, the guy said, I'm happy. They give me $1 million. I was happy. I moved faster than anybody else. And what are you looking at now?
Trying to find out if the Desert Inn golf course is open. I think it is.
No, because that used to be, I don't know, that's just a
There's nothing there. They didn't build anything on it.
No.
They did buy up, I think, all the homes.
They got palm trees and they got the green grass.
Well,
it looks nice. It looks better than Derry Street with all houses like
you can't even see it. What are you talking about? You can't see the course. You drive by, all you see is the tops of the trees. You don't see anything.
But there's not golf course in there no more. You mean when you drive on Paradise Road?
Yeah.
I know because my lawyer used to live there also.
Even when the golf course was there, if it's not there anymore, you still couldn't see the golf course from driving down the road.
No, because they got houses.
Yeah, and walls.
Yeah, they got a wall, they got houses.
The wall's still there.
Yeah, and behind the houses was the golf course.
Right.
You know,
but I have an idea it's still open. I don't know why in the hell they would close it up. I mean, it's a big money maker. I mean, that's a nice course. It's mature. It's got big ass trees. That used to be one of my favorite
because most
courses.
people that go, well, the Desert Inn do not exist anymore. It is called Wynn now, right?
Yeah.
And Wynn has a magnificent golf course somewhere else that they take the golfers in a limousine, you know.
That's Shadow Creek.
Is that what they call it?
I played there when Wynn owned it. That was, you couldn't
You don't
even
own
play.
it no more?
No, the MGM with the Hill. The MGM?
Oh, really? I
MGM
thought
owns
he
it.
did own it.
Yeah, MGM bought them out, right? The MGM owns it.
That could have been done in the same deal, yeah.
Now that Jordan, the basketball guy, what's his name?
Mike Jordan?
Michael Jordan, he does a golf tournament there once a year, for charity. And you can go in for $10 or whatever it is now. You can walk that course, while the golf tournament's going on.
Oh,
that
really?
is one hell of a course. It's not as nice as it was when it
Shadow
was first
Creek?
built. Shadow Creek is unbelievable because
I
the
know.
day it opened up, it was like it'd been there for 50 years. Big trees, and I mean, Jesus Christ, he spent a fortune, and no one could play there. You had to be invited to play there.
Yeah.
The day
and some of the guests at the hotel was not allowed.
You have to be invited. You have to be a high roller.
You have to be invited. No, that's what I'm saying. Even high rollers at the hotel, they were not allowed to go play over there unless they were invited by Steve.
Right, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
That
One
was,
day I played the proudest I've ever
that
saw
was his
it.
playground.
I was going down the 9th hole, and there was someone teeing off on 17. That's the proudest I've ever seen it when I played back in those days, because I could get on it. But beautiful course, I'll tell you what. You play the first course, the first hole. The first day I played the first hole. I went, wow, that was a pretty nice hole. Damn, I played the second hole. Wow, that's better. By the time I played 18, I had enough. I said, there's no friggin' way you could top that last hole. That's impossible. They had the weeping willow trees. They had the swans in front of the green swimming in the lake. They had the flowers. They had the black sand, brown sand, white sand. They had Babbling Creek going down they had everything that you could ever have in a hole.
Let's go over there to the Shadow Creek and play golf.
Okay.
Because
Now you can play with it. It's like 1,500 a person. So.
It is, that's peanuts. That's nothing.
Right.
Wynn
Golf Club, rates from $300. So I think that Wynn, they might call it Wynn now, but it's open. Wynn Golf Club.
I don't think that was involved in the deal with MGM. I'm not sure. I cannot be.
No, it's the Desert Inn. The Desert Inn was never involved. No, the Shadow Creek was. Because it was owned by Bellagio and the Wynn Resorts. Wynn had a house out there. His house was out there.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't think the golf course was involved in the MGM deal.
Oh, absolutely.
It was?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
And now it's not as nice.
I don't know. I was never.
When Wynn owned it,
I was never asked. I never asked for my opinion. I don't know why not, but they didn't ask me for my opinion. But anyway, it is time to say have a nice day because it is time to go. And soon,
let me try this again.
Soon we're gonna have the herd at 2:00. Don't forget that. And remember, my name is Rolando Larraz, and I stand behind every word I said about in this show. So I thank you for listening. God bless you. God bless America. God bless our troops.
Let me see here.
From the lakes of Minnesota,
5 minutes to 1.
hills of Tennessee, across the plains of Texas, from sea to sky to sea, from Detroit down to Houston, and New York to LA. There's pride in every American heart, and it's time we stand and say. Clouds of gray American, where at least I know I'm free. I won't forget the men who died, who gave that fight to me, and I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this man. God bless the USA.
What the heck? I don't know. We're off anyway. I don't know what that is.
We
Tough
off?
to do, yeah.
What about this
I'm not
last
too sure
one
about
over here?
when that. Huh?
What about this last yellow one over here in the right?
I don't know. That's off. I don't know about this thing up here. Now it's off. Here we go. There's the music. Jesus Christ, this thing's got me all confused.